And his mistakes, what lessons do they hide? Do you know? In this video, you'll find out. Through losses, difficult choices, and regrets, Richard found examples. There are 8 lessons every senior should know, and the last one is deeply connected to mental health after age 60. Stay with me until the end and compare each lesson with all the years of your own life. Have you ever stopped to think that, after 60, mental health might be the greatest treasure a person can nurture? Richard learned this the hard way, through mistakes, losses, and decisions that changed his life forever. But instead of giving up, he turned every fall into a valuable lesson. Today, I'll share with you 8 powerful lessons born from this journey, and the final one is so profound it could completely change the way you see aging. Don't miss it, this is where the story comes full circle. He always believed his life would shine on stage, with warm lights reflecting on his face and the sound of an audience cheering for his music. That dream started early, in his youth, but never found space to grow, suffocated by his parents' voices. Fearing the instability of an artistic career, they pushed him toward a safer path, business administration. The choice seemed logical, but the flame of being a musician never died, it only stayed hidden, like an unfinished melody playing inside him. And you? Have you ever had a dream as strong as Richard's, one that life circumstances simply wouldn't allow you to fulfill? Share it in the comments, your story might inspire someone else. This channel is new. Help us grow on YouTube, subscribe so you don't miss the next videos. Richard had another desire too, to build a family, get married, have children. But was this longing truly his own, or just an expectation inherited from others? This question followed him for years, like a shadow, as he tried to balance his own desires with what he thought the world expected of him. Years passed, and now, in his 60s, he looks back with greater clarity. He sees that his journey was marked by intense choices, often painful ones. There was involvement with drugs and alcohol, a youth defined by excess, a rushed marriage that ended in divorce, risky dives into the world of gambling, family losses that shook his certainties, and health issues that forced him to rethink his priorities. Yet each fall became a lesson, even if learned the hardest way. His career in business administration gave him stability, but never the feeling of fulfillment. He gained professional recognition and even security, but a sense of emptiness remained. After turning 60, he discovered he cared less about outside judgment and felt more willing to be authentic. He realized the opinions that once shaped him no longer held the same weight, and that living according to his own convictions was the truest form of freedom. Leaving addictions behind, facing divorce, stepping away from gambling, these were difficult but essential decisions, steps that required courage and redefined his identity. And in just a moment, you'll discover the 8 lessons that kept Richard standing, even after painful falls and tough choices, lessons that could transform how you face your own challenges. In relationships, Richard learned you can't depend on anyone else's validation to feel whole. He began trusting his intuition more, setting higher standards for behavior, and valuing connections born from truth, not need. When it came to dreams and goals, he understood that objectives can sleep, but never disappear. He also acknowledges his mistakes, especially marrying someone without truly knowing them through all of life's phases. The divorce was inevitable, painful, but brought clarity. You need to see a person through different seasons, through joy and storms, before making deep commitments. From family losses, he learned nothing is guaranteed, every moment should be celebrated as if it were unique, because time, that relentless judge, never gives back what's lost. Now, let's explore together the 8 lessons Richard gained through mistakes, losses, and fresh starts, and the last one, perhaps the most overlooked, might be the secret to overcoming any challenge at any stage of life. First, dreams don't die, they only sleep. Even smothered by imposed choices, the dream of being a musician never vanished. He learned that true desires can wait, but never truly fade. A delayed dream isn't a lost one, it simply waits for the courage to be awakened. Second, not every desire is truly yours. For years, Richard confused family expectations with his own desires. This dilemma shows how vital it is to distinguish what belongs to us from what the world projects onto us. Living someone else's expectations means abandoning your own truth. Third, falls are great teachers. Excesses, addictions, and failures marked his youth. But instead of destroying him, they became lessons that shaped his maturity. Every scar is a page written in the book of wisdom. Fourth, stability is not synonymous with fulfillment. He achieved security in his career, but the absence of purpose followed him. He realized that living solely for stability is living incompletely. Security without purpose is like an empty stage behind closed curtains. Fifth, authenticity brings freedom. With age, he understood that true freedom comes when you stop living to please others and begin living in alignment with your own essence. The greatest freedom arises when you no longer need anyone's approval. Sixth, relationships require maturity. His divorce taught him that deep commitments only endure when you truly know the other person through every season and storm of life. To love is to see the other person in all seasons, not just in springtimes. Seventh, time is relentless, yet precious. Loss taught him that nothing is guaranteed, and every moment lived must be celebrated as unique. Time gives nothing back, but teaches that each instant can be eternal if fully lived. Professionally, he realized that living only to meet others' expectations wastes vital energy. What truly matters is building a life around what brings joy and meaning. And even though he never stepped onto stages as a musician, he discovered that life isn't linear, that change is always possible, that you can choose again, and reinvent your path. Today, he values authenticity, the courage to begin anew, and the awareness that we aren't bound by past decisions. He knows the next step might be the most important of all, and that even far from the original plan, it's still possible to find purpose, fulfillment, and truth. After all, every detour reveals new roads, and what matters most is continuing forward toward what truly counts, without fear of rewriting your own story. Eighth lesson, the power of gratitude. Richard realized that gratitude, even for pain and loss, transforms suffering into strength. Gratitude doesn't change the past, but it changes how you walk through the present. And in later life, this simple act becomes even more powerful. Caring for the mind is as essential as caring for the body. When gratitude becomes routine, it strengthens mental health, lightens the burden of loneliness, and brings serenity to face life's uncertainties. So if there's one thing you can start today, it's gratitude. Be thankful for being alive, for breathing, for having one more day to try, to learn, and to love. Gratitude is an antidote to anxiety and a balm for a mind that has weathered many battles. And here, I speak directly to you, don't wait for great achievements to feel grateful. Begin with the small things around you. Because when the heart learns to give thanks, even the hardest days gain new meaning, and in maturity, that meaning becomes the key to a lighter, fuller, and more balanced life. 5 phrases to reflect on gratitude. Imagine them softly whispered, accompanied by gentle, serene music. 1. Gratitude opens your eyes to the beauty already present in your life. 2. When I give thanks, even silence turns into companionship. 3. Life expands in proportion to my heart's ability to recognize its blessings. 4. With every breath, I find a simple reason to be grateful. 5. Gratitude doesn't change what happened, but it completely changes who I become in the face of what happened. Here's a practical suggestion. Science has already proven that listening to soft music and meditating on positive phrases helps combat mental fatigue, improves quality of life, and strengthens resilience. Set aside a few minutes each day for this. Play a calm melody, close your eyes, and mentally repeat phrases that nourish your mind and heart. These practices are scientifically supported, confirmed by a study conducted by the journal Frontiers in Psychology, 2015. If you've made it this far, congratulations. It shows you're committed to learning from real-life wisdom and strengthening your mind to face any challenge. Throughout Richard's journey, we've seen simple yet powerful lessons. Never abandon your dreams, learn from mistakes, cherish the present, live authentically, and transform loss into wisdom. Richard faced addictions, a failed marriage, the pain of loneliness, and choices that seemed irreversible. And still, he found in gratitude, courage, and inner clarity the strength to rebuild his mental health after the age of 60. The question is, are you willing to apply these lessons and nurture your mental well-being to live your best years with balance, joy, and purpose? This channel is new and was created to inspire you to find courage, self-knowledge, and inner freedom. Subscribe, share, and continue with us on this journey.